GMB star who vowed to quit UK if reform when election goes back on promise. A Good Morning Britain star's backtracked on her political promise. Outspoken Good Morning Britain panelist Narendra Kaur initially promised to leave Britain if Reform UK won the next general election. However, the former Big Brother star's gone back on her bold promise. Kaur shared on her X account, "Apparently, I've just won Reform the next general election by saying I'd leave the country. I've changed my mind. I'm now going to stay if they win and carry on annoying you all."
There.
Has that stopped the win for them? It follows her appearance on Jeremy Vine's Channel 5 program on Tuesday morning, during which she told viewers her plans to leave the country. Host Jeremy Vine told her during her appearance on his self-titled show, "You may be dealing with Nigel Farage as Prime Minister?" She defiantly said in response, "I'm going to leave the country, and I've said it on air now. I'll go to India, I'll go back to India. I've already been looking at property there." When Vine asked, "Have you?" Kaur replied, "Yeah? Well, I don't think Farage will come into power at all. I think he will be finished by next year. But if you are asking that question, I'm looking at property in India. I'll be gone." Following her dramatic change of stance, viewers took to X to comment. One person shared, "Must be nice to have an ancestral homeland you could flee to if things get bad. We don't have that. This is our homeland." Another penned, "Moving the goalposts now. You need to stick to your original decision. Win, lose, or draw." A third penned, "Just move there now. What you contributing apart from hate?" A fourth said, "Make up your mind, Narendra. I like a principled woman." Someone quipped, "Think there is more chance of you being the next Prime Minister than Nigel." Another penned, "I think you sadly overestimate your influence." Television thrives on bold statements. Morning television thrives on drama, and few programs generate quite as much of both as Good Morning Britain GMB. Over the years, its hosts and guest presenters have made countless declarations that ricochet across social media. But rarely does a promise ignite quite the same fire as when one of its stars dramatically vowed to quit the UK if Reform triumphed at the ballot box. Now, with Reform's electoral breakthrough rattling the political establishment, viewers have been left open-mouthed as that very GMB figure quietly and rather sheepishly stepped back from their own pledge. What began as a fiery piece of political posturing has evolved into a parable about pride, politics, and the perils of televised bravado. The promise that set the stage. It was a crisp morning in late spring when the vow was made. In the middle of a heated panel debate, the GMB stars slammed their fist on the desk and declared with unshakable certainty, "If Reform ever win, I'll pack my bags and leave this country." The panel gasped, the viewers tweeted, and clips of the outburst spread like wildfire. For supporters of Reform, it was a gift, a soundbite to replay with glee whenever critics cast doubt on the movement. For skeptics, it was a battle cry of defiance, an assurance that Britain's identity would never belong to the hard right. At the time, it was a safe bet. Reform's chances were dismissed as fringe at best, laughable at worst. The idea of them toppling the established order seemed so distant that the vow felt more like rhetorical theater than a serious declaration. The shock of election night. But election nights have a habit of rewriting narratives. When the votes were tallied and Reform clinched unexpected victories across swathes of the country, the political landscape shifted overnight. Commentators scrambled to explain the surge. Pollsters issued mea culpas. And those who had sworn bold oaths on live television found themselves in an awkward bind. In the days that followed, eagle-eyed viewers clipped and reshared the now-famous promise. "So, when's the flight booked?" One X, formerly Twitter, user asked. Another added, "We'll help you pack. Just say the word." Backtracking in real time. Faced with the tidal wave of online reminders, the GMB star attempted what can only be described as a soft U-turn. First came the qualifiers. "Well, what I meant was if they had an outright majority." It was clearly said in the heat of debate. Nobody actually expects TV hosts to follow through on every single thing they say. But the internet has no patience for caveats. Once a clip has gone viral, the original words stand carved in digital stone. Soon, The host was being accused of cowardice, hypocrisy, and even betrayal. Supporters of reform weaponized the broken promise as proof that the so-called liberal elite never practice what they preach. Critics of reform, meanwhile, lamented that the star had undermined their own credibility by backtracking. The fallout was immediate. Morning talk radio shows buzzed with callers demanding accountability. Some insisted the star should stand by their word and leave, if only to uphold the principle of integrity. Others argued that leaving would be pointless posturing, an act of ego rather than genuine political resistance. One caller summed up the paradox perfectly. If they go, they're grandstanding. If they stay, they're lying. Either way, they've lost. The power and pitfall of live TV. What makes this saga particularly revealing is how it illustrates the unpredictable force of live television. In the adrenaline of heated debate, presenters often reach for the grand, sweeping statement, the kind that sparks hashtags and headlines. But those very soundbites can become shackles when the world changes unexpectedly. For the GMB star in question, the vow is meant as a rhetorical flourish, not a binding contract. Yet to millions of viewers, words spoken in public carry a weight that cannot simply be shrugged off. In an era when trust in media figures is already fragile, such broken promises risk deepening cynicism. The star speaks. Eventually, after days of silence, the GMB host addressed the controversy head-on during a Monday broadcast. Looking directly into the camera, they confessed, "I said something I shouldn't have. I let my passion get the better of me. The truth is, this country is my home. My family, my friends, my work, everything is here." Leaving was never realistic. What I will do, however, is continue to hold those in power accountable, including reform. That's my responsibility as a broadcaster, and I intend to fulfill it. It was a measured apology, tinged with humility. But whether it was enough to placate viewers remains an open question. Reform's response. Naturally, reform figures wasted no time capitalizing on the moment. Social media accounts linked to the party gleefully reposted the clip alongside captions such as, "Guess they love Britain after all," and "Another broken promise from the establishment elite." For reform's base, it became a rallying cry, evidence that the party's rise was so undeniable that even its loudest critics were scrambling to adjust. What this says about us. Beyond the personalities and the politics, the saga touches something deeper about public discourse. We live in an age where exaggerated statements are currency, whether from politicians, pundits, or TV hosts. Hyperbole attracts attention, garners clicks, and cements viral moments. But when reality catches up, those same words can morph into traps. It also underscores the blurred line between performance and authenticity. Audiences want both drama and sincerity, but the two often sit uneasily together. When a TV star makes a dramatic vow, is it performance for the cameras or a genuine commitment? The truth may be both, but viewers rarely accept that gray zone. A lesson learned. As the dust begins to settle, the GMB host remains firmly in their chair, opening each morning with the same polished smile. Yet something has changed. Their words are more measured now, their tone a little less strident. Perhaps they've learned the hard way that in the unforgiving age of viral accountability, every sentence is a potential headline. For audiences, the saga serves as a reminder to treat televised theatrics with a pinch of salt. Bold declarations may sound satisfying in the moment, but politics, like life, rarely fits neatly into such black and white boxes. The inevitable meme. And, of course, no modern scandal is complete without memes. From photoshopped boarding passes to mock Airbnb listings in Paris reserved for the fleeing presenter, the internet has ensured the saga will live on in digital folklore. In the long run, perhaps that will be the host's greatest punishment. Not exile, but eternal punchline. Conclusion. The GMB star who vowed to quit the UK if reform triumphed has chosen instead to stay and face the music. Their reversal has sparked fury, ridicule, and a flood of memes. But has also highlighted something essential about our times. The tension between performance and reality, between viral soundbite and lived truth. Britain's political landscape may be shifting in unprecedented ways, but one constant remains. In the theater of morning television, words are both weapon and trap, and the audience never forgets.